Illum, Nari, Victor, and the dragon Trillian rode across the fields before Cryo's quarry toward the army that stood in place. Illum stopped his party 50 yards from the army's front line and glanced at Trillian. He didn't seem on edge or in an aggravated state. This brought a slight sense of relief to Illum. "Victor, what scents are you picking up on?" Illum asked. The werewolf sniffed the air. He leaned forward and sniffed some more. After several moments of pensive silence, interrupted only by Victor's sharp inhalations, he shook his head. Victor huffed, unable to speak in his fully changed form. "Victor, Trillian, you stay here," Illum said. "If anything goes wrong, we'll need you to be able to move into play. Nari, let's go negotiate terms." Nari and Illum moved toward the center of the field as a small contingent of heavily armored men began to march at them. Their formation was that of a square. They were protecting someone in the center. "You want to tell me how the terms of combat system works?" Illum asked. "I don't know," Nari said, shaking her head. "I was only responsible for coding the plains region of the map. This army looks like they're from the marshlands. Things are different there." "Well then, let's hope we don't get ourselves into too much trouble," Illum replied. Illum and Nari came to a stop. He heard Trillian let out a low growl that rumbled over the plains like thunder. Illum put his hand up. Trillian stopped. He glanced back over to Nari as the squad grew closer. "Have you ever been outside of your own domain?" Illum asked. "No," Nari replied, shaking her head. "Too many variables, but mostly I didn't want to risk a glitch." Illum nodded as he dismounted. He walked over to Nari and helped her off her steed. Thomas took his horse by the reins and took several more steps forward. The squad before them stopped moving. Their armor seemed to be made from wood. It appeared lightweight, but Illum noticed several gashes that were reminiscent of heavy axe cleaves. They had only left minor marks. Moss held their pieces of armor together, and the teeth and claws of mysterious animals decorated some of the higher-ranked officers. A loud crack erupted into the air. One of the commanders peered at Illum with dimly glowing yellow eyes from behind a helmet that covered his whole face. A massive whip struck at the air again and let out yet another crack. It was barbed, like that of an iguana. It was only then Illum noticed massive, scaly hands with claws that rivaled Victor's at the end of each finger.
"Our leader wishes to speak with the Lord of Cryo's quarry,"
the lizard man announced.
"Your commander can speak to this,"
Victor replied while giving a rude gesture. Another crack rang out. Victor staggered back and held his face. Illum noticed a bit of blood under Victor's eye.